Now, the first step before we take our journey back to the end of the late Pleistocene period is to step into your favorite time machine. Maybe it's a DeLorean, or maybe it's the H.G. Wells Whirligig. Possibly your favorite time machine is a hot tub, or my favorite is the fly-in phone booth a la Doctor Who. I want you to picture yourself coming out of your time warp and you're suddenly buzzing over the state of Maine. All you'll notice is a massive ice sheet, except for the very tip of Mount Katahdin sticking out. Most of the ice was over a mile thick, and with 1 cubic mile of ice weighing 9.25 trillion pounds, one can only imagine the effect that the Laurentide ice sheet had on crushing the state of Maine. At the end of the last glacial maximum, about 25,000 years ago, Maine was completely buried under ice, and the margin of the glaciers was far out into the Atlantic Ocean. But about 18,000 years ago, Earth's temperature began to creep up. So as the ice melt began to pick up speed, the ocean level began to work its way inland. Now remember, Maine's crust was still under that tremendous crushing weight of all those glaciers. So as a result, that ocean crept further and further inland and was directly in contact with the glacial margin, all the way up to Bingham, Maine. Now this here map gives you a great idea how much of the state of Maine was actually under that ice-cold ocean water at the end of the last ice age. And this would have been about 15,000 years ago, before Maine went through what was called post-glacial isostatic rebound. It's a crazy scientific way of saying the crust just bounced back up once the weight of the ice melted off. Mr. Keister here with a natural history moment for you kids. Look right here. This is a vein of marine clay. And if you look right there, shells, seashells. So what you're looking at right there, if I zoom out so you can kind of see that, that is the old ocean floor from Maine 15,000 years ago, before the crust rebounded back up. And it's called isostatic rebound. So it came at the end of the last ice age because the ocean went all the way to Bingham, Maine. So, but what you're seeing here, those are all shells in the bank, and we're going to try to get you a closer look at some bigger ones. Oh, there we have it, a piece of that marine clay. If you look right here in it, you can see the shell right there trapped inside that clay. Because like I said, 15,000 years ago, this was the bed of the ocean. And look at that shell right there, all inside that, trapped in the clay. And you can see the pieces of shells.